Welcome to the Shakaama Live Show with your host Shakaama. So this video is targeting black people since you all responded a little bit. You all see a video of mine that gets 1,000 views and you go, oh, this is a great video. There's a lot of views. No, a lot of views is 20,000 views in the first day. That's a lot of views. 1,000 views in a week on something that targets black people, that's going to give them some sort of knowledge, is not a lot of views. It's not even a drop in the drop in the drop of a bucket. But I digress. Let's go on with this. I've spoken about college. I've spoken about college in general. I've spoken about student loans in general. I've spoken about whether or not to go to college, whether or not to be skilled labor. What do you do? What do you do? And then I have people coming in complaining. Do you know the first college did not even offer a Bachelor of Arts whatsoever? That entire college in a university was formulated for rich people who didn't want to really go to college. So they called it classical studies. So that's all your English, your philosophy, all that sort of mess. The stuff that stuff that you can literally go to a library and learn yourself. Now, I made a couple of videos talking about the top 10 majors that black people should concentrate on. You should only go to college to come out of college to make around $100,000 a year. If you don't come out of college making around $100,000 a year, first of all, if there's any student loans involved, you've wasted your money and you've wasted somebody else's money. College is for one specific thing, normally to get a job, right? The college is not going to teach you how to be an entrepreneur. It's not going to teach you how to open up a business. Now, you can get a business degree in college, which means you can get a job telling somebody else how to operate their business. Notice that operating a business and owning a business are two separate things, right? If you're really good, you could get a business degree and then go show all the black people how to operate their business. I mean, that would be a plan. You'd have a captured audience, a captive audience, and maybe you could actually make black people successful if you sort of struck out on your own. But then again, a lot of you would come out of college not having enough money to hang your shingle for yourself. That's the problem a lot of people have. It used to be that you had to have enough money coming out of college to hang your own shingle to do something, right? Those days are over. College is now go to college, get a job. I want to talk about the structure of the black community that is not even there. We don't have a community, and I keep saying this, and a lot of black people say, yes, we do. Or we have the white racist, supremacist people come to my channel and say, you all have a community. It's called the ghetto. It's called gangbangers. Okay, listen up, white boy. Of all of the entire black population in the United States, only 8% are involved in the criminal justice system. Also, I've already stated that 75% to 80% of black people are middle class and up. Now, what does that mean? Well, middle class has three parts. It's lower middle class, middle class, and upper middle class. After that, you have the upper class. Now, if you don't understand what lower middle class means, then there's no point in speaking to you. But 80% of black people are middle class and up. That doesn't mean middle class, it doesn't mean upper middle class, and it doesn't mean lower middle class. It's middle class and up. Guess what? The same thing applies to white people, Asians, Native American. For the most part, humans don't like war, work hard, build stuff, and die. That's every group. There is no such group that exists on the planet that is 100% poor or even 50% poor. There is no such group. Doesn't exist. I know the white supremacist groups out there think that there's some sort of magical boot on the neck of black people that they are not middle class. I mean, it's ridiculous, really. Okay, let's not speak to white people about their retardation. Okay, so let's talk about the structure of the black community. It should be about a good 40% of black people should be skilled labor. Now, in my very last video, in general, talking about college and the reasons not to go to college, one of the reasons I said is maybe you don't want to go to college. Just maybe, trying to be forced to go to college is not a reason to go. I don't care if your parents have actually been saving. You know what you could do with the money saved to go to college? You could spend that to pay cash for a home. That would actually set you up in life better than going to college. I mean, have you looked at the housing rates and all that sort of stuff? A kid who inherits a house is light years ahead of almost everybody else in the middle class, right? So if you've been saving and saving and saving for a college fund, and then the kid decides he doesn't want to go to college, listen to the kid, maybe discuss it, sit down and discuss it, and pay attention to the high school record. If you're not a successful high school student, there should be absolutely no reason that you should go to college. Oh, I shouldn't say that? Sure, I should say that, because the only reason I say to go to college is to get into a STEM field. Then I had somebody say, you mean that we shouldn't have black people get a law degree, a doctorate degree, a business degree? No, I'm not saying that, but those are at the other end of the spectrum. So I said 40%, just using a number, picking a number out the air. 40% of black people should be skilled labor. And in fact, it should be so prevalent in the black community that we should go back to the 40s, the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, wherein they felt that skilled labor was a black thing because it was looked down upon. Oh, you're a carpenter? Yeah, that's black work. Manual skilled labor was looked down upon, and it was seen as, in the South, it was seen as black people work. Just like the kitchen is seen as the woman's work, right? So in 2016, we should have 40% of the black population be some sort of skilled labor, right? Okay, now, where's the other 60% fall in? Well, I think a good 20 to 30% should be STEM, college. I think that's the only reason to go to college, really, as a whole. Now, don't give me, I'm bad at math. No, you're not bad at math. You do math probably every hour. Do you go to the store and buy stuff? You're doing math. Yes, you are. Do you cross the street? You're doing math. I worked at a place once, and it was customer service. So I worked alongside some women, and what they required you to do was you take an incoming call, solve the person's problem, and then at the end of the call, offer them something, right? I forget what we offered them. I see you have a donut holder. Would you like a donut holder warmer? Right? You get the idea. So then I went over to the sales department, and that's all we did was just do the sales. We took an automatic dialer that dialed up people and said, I see that your on-site computer warranty has run out. Would you like to buy another one? And of course, almost 99% of the time, the person would say, I had on-site computer help. Yes, you did. Would you like to buy that again? Well, I didn't know I had the other. You should have read your documentation. Anyway, it's expired. Do you want to? And about a good 60% would say yes. Right? Now, the women that I used to work with in the customer service department would say, I don't want to do sales. Okay, listen to my description of customer service. You would take an incoming call, you would solve the problem, and then you would offer them something on every call. And you got paid for offering them stuff. Any of them who actually went with the offer, you got paid for it. So every single person in the building in that section actually did sales. Here's what's crazy. These women would complain about, I ain't got no money. I'm always broke. And I would say, why don't you come over to the sales department? I don't want to do sales. And, I had one of those faces like, what the hell did she just say? I said, tell you what, don't complain to me, because people complain directly. People have always turned to me because I'm the outspoken idiot that speaks for people. I said, don't turn to me and tell me about how broke you are, how much money, because you're already doing sales. Oh, that's not sales. That's not sales. That's sales, baby. Would you like to buy? That means you're trying to make a sale. In the sales department, all you do is cut away and it's not even selling because it's an automatic dialer. You're literally just sitting at your desk making money. That's all you're doing. And they had a graduated sales pyramid, right? If you sold 10, you got a bonus. If you sold 50, you got a bonus. If you sold 100, you would get a bonus. And then, of course, the difference between the 10 and the 50 was a tremendous bonus. And the difference between the 50 and 100 was a outrageous bonus, right? And there were guys killing it every day. I played video games mostly, but I came out with a very nice paycheck. I bought a car. Did I pay cash? No, I didn't pay cash, but I paid almost half the car as a down payment. Probably worst mistake in my life, but anyway. But that's what I did. I had the money. I said, "Oh, why am I trying to take buses to work? I have money." Anyway, that was when I was young and dumb. But anyway, that's you're doing math every day. And math is one of those things that is one of those universal truths. Once you learn math, there's no unlearning math. And also once you learn math, there is no interpretation like in English. What is this story about? Oh, I think the story is about death. I think the story is about love. Oh, you're all right. You all get an A. What? Or the opposite of that. I think it's about death. I think it's about love. No, you all get an F. It's not that about that at all. This is the English teacher, right? Math, once you learn 2 + 2 = 4, and I'm not talking about these stupid theorems of 2 + 2 = 3 or 2 + 2 = 5. I'm talking about 2 + 2 = 4. Once you learn that, you're done with it. You already know it. It's not going to change. It's not open to interpretation. Math is simple. Oh, I know you've seen these pictures of these blackboards with this big, huge math problem on it. But the person went through it and went, okay, 2 + 2 = 4, +2 = 6, divided by 2 = 3, +2 = 5. So yes, you've done 5 steps of a problem and you've got an answer. And that's all that is on the board. It's nothing crazy. It's nothing crazy. Nothing in math is crazy, because it all comes back down to you have a rule, and the rule states that plus means when you take 2 and you plus another 2, it equals 4. You understand what plus means, you understand what equals means. You're done. You just simply plug in the rule. In that case, the rule was plus and the rule is equal. You already understand those rules, right? And that's math. There's nothing strange about it. There's nothing difficult about it. Difficult is being an English genius and getting an F on the midterm and dropping the class because the teacher just doesn't want to hear about truth, or saying Cleopatra was white and having to drop that class because the teacher you're not going to get along with the teacher. Those are all Bachelor of Arts crap, right? That entire college is crap at a university. The music, I don't understand why you would go to school to study music. That's a performing arts school, maybe, but a school that is not a performing arts school, no idea why you would go there for art or music or dance or whatever, right? That seems kind of ridiculous, right? I'm studying dance. Why don't you do dance? How about that? Take dance classes. Now, so I said what? 20 to 30% should go to college and study a STEM degree. Now, on top of that, maybe 10% would be our doctors or lawyers or what have you, the professions. Those are professional degrees. Some places still you don't go to college for. Did you know that? Some states don't require you to have a college degree to be a lawyer. How crazy is that? So it's not 100% a discussion about college as far as a profession is concerned. Some professions still, till this day, require that you apprentice with the actual professional, and then you come out the other end a few years, and now you're the professional. It's still till this day. That's how I think the Black community should be structured. Oh, and at the top of that should be our businesses. That's just 10%. I don't know. I didn't do the math. What did I say? I said 40%. Plus 20%, that's 60%. Then we have the professions. I don't know what percentage we want of that, because there's so many quote unquote professions. And then 10%, we only need 10% to own businesses. We only need 10%. The structure of the attitude of Black people would severely shift. We would not have Black unemployment with just 10% business own. How shocking is that? 1 in 10 black people, if 1 in 10 black people owned a business in the United States, we wouldn't have our community be so broke. And when I say broke, I mean giving away our money. We're not broke, we give away our money. Let me repeat that. We're not broke. We give our money to other races, whereas other races keep their money. If we just had 1 in 10 black people own their own business and hire black people, do you know the biggest employer of black people are black owned businesses? It's not the government. I know the government tries to say that, but the government doesn't even tell you that the largest employer of anybody are small businesses. They're not the giant corporations. Even the corporations who say that we have 1 million employees. You know what? You're just a drop in the bucket. You're just a drop in the bucket compared to all other small businesses. Remember, in this day and age, after you become an adult, you have to go somewhere. So if we have, 160 million adults in the United States? A corporation that has 1 million employees, and that's some ridiculous corporation, that still doesn't compare to all the small businesses. And the government keeps suppressing any sort of numbers about small businesses. Employment numbers, pay numbers, hiring numbers, all of they suppress it. If you all knew this hiring numbers and the employment numbers of small businesses after Obamacare was implemented, there would be riots in the street. Do you know that the unemployment numbers that they keep track of as far as Obamacare is concerned are only the big corporations? And that's a very dismal, bleak outlook as it is. It's a very depressing outlook as it is, even in 2016. They are not telling you how bad, what bad shape the country is in, even when just reporting about corporations hiring people after Obamacare. Now, I want to encourage you to go look up or try to find somewhere the numbers for small business unemployment after Obamacare. It's outrageous. I've already said that we have a 60% labor participation rate, and that number is actually going down, not up. And even worse, with all this feminism talking about equal pay and all this stuff, women are dropping out of the labor pool completely. Women are giving up. I don't have to work. I'm married to a guy. I can simply just drop out of this mess. And they are. That's from CEO on down. Women as CEOs on down. Because women are starting to die closer to the numbers and time period that men are dying because of the stress levels and so forth and so on. That's not something that feminists want to talk about. So at the very top, 10% of black people need to own their own business. That's it. We're at like 0.1%. Something crazy, something outrageous. I think it's, let me see if I can do the calculation correctly. 0.03%. That's African American business ownership 2016, 0.03%, if I'm doing the calculation correctly. And I'm saying we need to get to 10%. Now, just thinking of those two numbers and the vast difference between those two numbers, 0.03% and 10%. For those of you who are good at math, I want you to calculate the number that it would take 0.03% to equal 10%. Go ahead and write that in the comment. And I want you to then do a calculation times 50 million. And that's going to give you how many black people should own a business. Thank you for watching the Shakaama Live Show.